How the bank screwed over South Africa. Today, we've got a topic that's been making headlines and sparking controversy in South Africa: allegations of trillion rand manipulation by some of the country's major banks. Strap in, because we're diving deep into this complex issue. But before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our videos. Now, let's get started. In recent weeks, South Africa has been shaken by accusations that major banks operating within the country have been involved in the alleged manipulation of trillions of rand. This is a serious claim that has far-reaching implications for the financial sector, the economy, and of course, the trust of the public. To understand the gravity of the situation, let's take a step back and look at the basics. Currency manipulation involves artificially inflating or deflating the exchange rate of a currency to gain an unfair advantage. In this case, the South African rand is at the center of the storm. Now, what exactly are these accusations? 8 years ago, the Competition Commission launched an investigation into 28 banks for alleged price fixing involving the rand. It was in 2015 that the Commission opened its probe into allegations of rand manipulation and collusion by a large concert of local and multinational financial institutions. These included Standard Bank, Absa, Investec, Citibank, First Rand Bank, Barclays, Merrill Lynch, HSBC, and Standard Chartered. Evidence points to a network of well-coordinated corrupt activity as banks colluded on prices in the trading of the rand in a 6-year period from 2007 to 2013. The Competition Commission estimates that close to 1 trillion rand was transacted daily between 2007 and 2013 in this illicit currency trading. Today, 8 years after the investigation began, there has been paltry accountability and justice. In 2016, Jacob Zuma, who was the president of South Africa, had openly shared his suspicion that banks were manipulating the rand and purposefully damaging both his presidency and the economy. His protestations were scornfully dismissed. He had borne the brunt of blame for the volatile and negative performance of the rand. These revelations call for a revision of the assessment of the economy under his watch. In 2017, the South African arm of Citibank pleaded guilty and paid an administrative penalty of 69.5 million rand for its role in price fixing and currency manipulation. In the same year, Barclays Africa asked for forgiveness for their involvement in this illicit activity. 5 of the 28 banks have admitted to taking part in the alleged foreign exchange manipulation 16 years ago. The other banks have gone to the courts to appeal whether South Africa's competition authorities have the jurisdiction to prosecute or have the material facts to prosecute. Standard Chartered Bank is the second institution to agree to settle with the Commission after the scandal was exposed. Not one of the institutions voluntarily came forward to admit to their transgressions or repent for their sins. They were simply found out. This is what prompted the "sorry is the hardest word to say" apology from Barclays Africa Group's Maria Ramos, who said, "We deeply regret that this conduct took place within our organization. Those who are found to have contravened the rules and conduct will in due course be held accountable." Barclays Africa's cooperation with the Competition Commission meant that its financial assets, Barclays Capital and Absa, were afforded leniency in the matter. The British-based multinational bank, Standard Chartered, agreed to pay an administrative penalty of 42.7 million rand. However, this is a slap on the wrist, considering how much these banks made a day. Standard Chartered Bank admitted to currency manipulation back in 2019. Most of the banks implicated are still trying hard to weasel their way out of the situation, claiming that the accusations are unfounded or that the Commission lacks the necessary jurisdiction to prosecute. They are also trying to diminish the scale and effect of the illicit activity. Feeble apologies and pocket money fines are not enough. For the damage done by currency manipulation is no small change. Currency manipulation has the potency to damage economies, downgrade prospects of citizens, and can plunge economies into junk status. The grand-scale manipulation of the rand has left South Africans poorer. In an analysis published in the Mail and Guardian on January 18, 2016, entitled "Why the Rand is Falling," economist Fatima Bhula wrote, "The weak rand has a number of implications for the country's growth prospect. Firstly, the weakening currency carries the risk of pushing up inflation because imported goods are more expensive. This means that the South African Reserve Bank faces a difficult decision. It can keep interest rates low, but then faces even higher inflation. This will only devalue the rand further. If the central bank takes more aggressive action by raising interest rates, it risks stifling growth in an economy that is only growing at 1.5%. The rand's weakening could not have come at a worse time for South Africa. The country is suffering from the worst drought since 1992, which has increased food costs and pushed the farming industry into recession. The price of white corn, a staple food in southern Africa, has more than doubled on the South African Futures Exchange in the past year. With large parts of the economy already in recession, coupled with worsening debt levels and the threat of credit rating downgrades, it looks like the economy will contract. The weak rand will also see the cost of imported goods for consumers rise. In addition, while the rest of the world benefits from record low oil prices, the country's weaker currency means it will not be able to take full advantage of this and may face higher fuel prices in the near future. President of an opposition political party in South Africa, ATM, Vuyo Zungula, has said, "We can't let this currency manipulation slide. The banking industry must be fully investigated for any and every unethical practice they are involved in. People lost homes, cars got repossessed. Millions of people are in an endless cycle of debt because of these greedy banks." Zungula wrote to the Speaker of Parliament requesting an urgent parliamentary debate regarding the manipulation and banking misconduct. The EFF also took a strong stance, asserting that those admitting guilt to currency manipulation should lose their banking licenses. They called for the prosecution of directors and staff members involved, with their assets seized. The EFF has called on the competition authorities to fast-track the cases of the remaining banks that participated in this corrupt scheme that was designed to profit from the suffering of people. While the Competition Commission explores the possibility of criminal charges against the accused banks, the protection of banks, both within and beyond South African jurisdiction, against severe penalties, seems likely. Banks, both within the jurisdiction of the South African authorities and beyond, will no doubt be protected against harsh penalty. Such is the unnatural and unequal order of the world we live in. The ANC called for the implicated banks to face charges of economic sabotage. Certainly, bank manipulation is a form of economic sabotage. Some have even described it as treason. Perhaps the greatest learning that comes out of the rand manipulation fiasco is that South Africa still remains in the financial and economic capture of others. The ANC may have won political freedom, but the levers of the economy are not in its hands. It has little financial control or power. This is economic self-sabotage, and, as always, it is ordinary citizens are suffering. Tell us what you think in the comment section. Like and share the video, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our African videos. It's the best way to support us.